Hi, this is Ray Anderson, bringing you an episode of Made in California. One of the things we're trying to highlight is that here in California, we are one of the largest economies in the world, and it's sometimes forgotten that a lot of innovative, new companies with new products, new ways of doing things, emerge right here. And our goal is to be able to feature them and let you see what's being done locally here to make an impact not only on our community, the state, the nation, but also the world. And today I've got a guest, Paul Berry from EPD, who's talking about what he's going to do and what he's been doing to be able to help us with our drought problem and get us clean water for the world. Paul, welcome. It's good to have you here. And I want you to tell us a little bit about the history of your experience with EPD and how it might help us in this drought situation.
Well, we are a manufacturer of filtration equipment. Our job is to clean water, so we typically focus on larger bodies of water in pools, water features, that type of thing, and municipal water. So our role in conserving water is how well our systems are engineered. It's not necessarily the cutting edge technology, but it's refined technology, and it is the best bulk water filtration technology there is.
And one of the neat things is that I know you've put these tanks in all over the world, right? I mean, Vietnam, the Philippines, etc. Tell us a little bit about why this technology is still used when it literally is pretty simple in concept, and why it can be used today, like for some of the situations we see. Give us some insights in that.
Well, number one, it's effective.
Mm-hmm.
You can filter water with our equipment on a par with membrane technology, and that's been proven in EPA studies. Number two, it's cost effective. The operation and maintenance cost is almost non-existent. So you have this overwhelming value that comes from durable equipment that is easy to take care of and easy to operate.
Well, I think one of the things that we know from reverse osmosis, which is one of your principal competing technologies.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the value of what you provide as opposed to the reverse osmosis, which is now being considered in a lot of cities in terms of collecting water out of the ocean.
Well, there's no doubt that membrane technologies and reverse osmosis being the foremost of those. There's no doubt that is the technology for super clean water. But in the day-to-day world, that quality of water is not required. So the treatment of bulk water with our equipment means that we exceed all the standards and yet can operate economically.
Given that membrane technology is, as you pointed out, superior, tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you would see in terms of budget, et cetera, because, obviously both communities and private sector are looking for ways to do this cost effectively.
Well, yeah, the cost effectiveness of EPD's treatment systems comes in the operation and maintenance cost.
Mm-hmm.
We're only slightly more affordable than reverse osmosis equipment when it comes to buying the equipment. The capital cost is just a little less, but the true value comes in that operation and maintenance, where over a period of 10 years or 20 years, you're saving a substantial amount of money as opposed to reverse osmosis.
Because of the operation
and maintenance.
One of the other things that obviously comes to mind is I know you've done some, like at Cal State, Santa Barbara, et cetera. When the campus grows or when the community grows, how can a community adapt, and how does it use your technology to be able to effectively deal with the increases?
Well, the inherent design of our system means it's expandable, and we accommodate customers such as UC Santa Barbara or even various water districts. If they don't have the funding to build out to their full potential, they will do it incrementally, and we help with that design. So you can add on,
Right.
basically.
So it's kind of bolt-on, and how does
Absolutely.
that compare to membrane technology as an example?
Well, both can be expanded, but the expense of ours again is minimal compared to reverse osmosis.
In what way? I'm not sure I understand.
Well, as in terms of design issues, when you are building a water treatment plant, the biggest cost is in power. So you size your pumps to what the intended amount of water you're going to push through the system. So in ours, you only need to design and build to your current phase. Beyond that, you can still use the same pumps to push
Expand.
more water, and thus eliminating the additional equipment needed to expand entirely. You just expand filter tanks. Everything else remains the same.
So you cut your costs that
Yeah.
way. And so tell us a little bit about cost of operation, because that's the other side of this equation. Now that you've got it installed, what I'm hearing you say is that cost of operation, because of the reduced amount of pumping, is cheaper. So it would be more cost effective in that way.
It's cost effective with power. It's cost effective with chemical use. It's cost effective for replacement parts. The fewer moving parts, the better, and that's where we excel.
No, and that's really an important thing. Tell us a little bit, if you can, because basically, I didn't go into much of the history, and you've obviously got a marketplace, and it's working well. Tell us a little about the history of how you got there, and how you managed to take over this enterprise.
Well, everything begins with, I was looking for work.
Yeah, that's
And,
right. That's right.
I was actually tapped for a temporary position as a pilot plant technician, and where I would go out and working with EPD to gain state approvals for their drinking water systems.
Right.
Began that in my hometown of Yucaipa at the time, and worked through pilot studies, and then shortly after that became an employee. Then things happened very quickly. The vice president that hired me resigned. There was no one else there to really pick up the ball and run with it. They had just started their drinking water program. Nobody else knew about it. So I was pushed to the forefront because I was the only one who knew anything about it, and quickly became general manager, vice president, and in 2011 I purchased the company.
And that's neat. And it's all started as a plumber.
Yes,
young plumber.
I was just a plumber. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, we all know that plumbers do as well as doctors, so I guess that's it. But
yeah, when they can find the work.
yeah,
Yes.
when they can find the work. And the neat thing about that is that you've acquired the company, and tell us a little bit about the background, because I think you've got a trademark which is pretty unique.
Well, yeah, EPD originally stood for Environmental Products Division of Hoffinger Industries. And everybody says, Hoffinger Industries, so what? Well, they are the parent company of Doughboy Pools. So at one time, EPD was known as Doughboy Commercial in its very early days. But they quickly garnered a reputation for great performance, very durable equipment. We just replaced a 20-year-old system at Harvard University, one of our systems, and they chose to come back to EPD and replace that system with another EPD because of that durability. So we have this great history of working in the commercial pool industry, the commercial filtration industry, and it's gone beyond that into industrial water treatment and municipal water treatment. The surface water treatment rule of the Clean Water Act actually got us into municipal water treatment, which was something that the engineers at EPD knew we could do pretty much standing on our head. And we went out and proved that in several states, and foremost being California, then Pennsylvania, New York, New Mexico, all of these places where we now have operating filter plants, community water filter plants. So it's something that has grown from a little division of a corporation
to something. And if you can, I know you've got a couple of high-profile clients as well. I think you're working with Disney World. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we have quite a few systems on Disney properties. We just replaced our system when they expanded the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So we've replaced that system, which has been an EPD system from the very beginning of that attraction. We have over 80 systems at Disney World properties in Orlando. We do quite a bit of work in the Las Vegas resort areas, the Bellagio, the Venetian, many MGM properties up there. So that's kind of our focus of attention, our commercial pools, water parks, water features.
Let me, going back to, how I initiated this thing with the drought. The truth is, it's like electricity. It's not getting more capacity. It's using the capacity we have more effectively. How could EPD systems, help kind of recover groundwater and other things in a cost-effective way that would enable us to retrieve water that otherwise would go directly in the ocean? And give us some insights into that.
Well, water use is up. Lack of rain causes the drought, so we want to conserve water. The biggest concern right now is what is termed non-source point pollution, and it's basically runoff water off of highways, parking lots, anything that's paved over. And that's the number one concern right now. Cleaning water is our only effective means of conserving any of it. Filtration, reuse of polluted water. And we do quite a good job of that in many areas. Again, our focus on the commercial water, that's dirty water that has to be cleaned. Municipal water, clean for drinking water use. Wastewater reclamation, stormwater reclamation. Our equipment has distinct advantages in all those areas.
Well, that's neat, and I think one of the things that it enables communities to do is look at opportunities to be able to salvage water that's already being used, as opposed to pulling it out of the ground, which is where we're struggling right now. Let's talk a little bit, if I can. I wanted to cover what I think is your future and where you want to go. Tell us a little bit about what you see as the future and where you'd like to go as you move forward.
Well, being a family-owned business, the future is in our family, sons and daughters. I have 2 sons, 2 daughters, and at one time or another, all of them have worked with me at EPD, and they all bring their own special talents. But that's specifically for us. That's where the future lies. Is our children, our employees, and their talents. It's how we use those people to further the business.
Well, as we wrap this up, I'd like to give Paul a chance to give his email and phone number for those of you who might be interested in his services or learn more about the products. And with that, Paul, tell us a little bit about how we can reach you.
Well, you can call us at 866-299-5929 or email me at pberry@epdusa.net. That's PBERRY@epdusa.net.
Thank you, Paul. Again, this has been Ray Anderson, and this is another episode of Made in California. If you'd like your business featured on Made in California, contact me at 951-634-6714 or my email address, ray@andersonbusinesscoaching.com. Thank you.